Welcome back to part 2 of our series where we learn how to factor equations the same way we would had they been quadratics even though they're not. Take for example question A. We have a fourth degree equation, and at first glance you might say that this may require techniques that I don't know, except you can be clever with all three of these examples by setting the variable to something that will make it more simple. For example, x to the power of 2 can be set to another variable a. The reason why that's important is because now this x to the power of 2 has become a, and x to the power of 4 can be written as x to the power of 2 raised to the power of 2. So that also becomes an a. So our equation becomes 2a squared minus 11a plus 12. You then find out what a is. You can use the quadratic formula from here and substitute the values of a that you find back into here and then solve for x. Let me show you what I mean really quickly. I'll use the quadratic formula that I have on my calculator, and that can be accessed by clicking mode 5 3. I'll put in 2, negative 11, and 12 into here. 2, negative 11, and 12, and we get an a value of 4 and 3 over 2. So a is equal to 4 and a is equal to 3 over 2, which is 1.5. At this point, if you want to find what your x values are, you take each of these and substitute it into there. So we have x squared is equal to 4 and x squared is equal to 1.5. Solving for x, we get x is equal to the square root of 4 for this one, and for this one, x is equal to the square root of 3 over 2, 1.5. Now because when you square root a number you get a plus or minus version, you are going to get a plus or minus version for the square root of 4, which is plus minus 2, and a plus minus version of this. I don't know what it is, so I'll just write it like that. This means that if we were to graph this, for example, it would have 4 roots. And that makes sense because if you have a quartic, a fourth degree equation, then you have a maximum of 4 roots. Okay, let's move on to b. What we can do again is make 1 over x minus 2 equal to a. That will take care of this part. That becomes a squared. And over here, we can rewrite it as 2 bracket 1 over x minus 2. It's the same thing mathematically. This will make this equation become a squared plus 2 times a minus 15 is equal to 0. Once again, you find out what your a value is using any technique for quadratics and substitute it back into here and solve for x. This time you'll only get 2 solutions. For question C, this requires a little bit of knowledge of exponent laws. We can separate x to the power of 2 over 3 into x to the power of 1 over 3 raised to the power of 2. This is the same thing as 2 over 3. And I'll leave that one the way it is. So I have minus 9 x to the power of a third plus 8 is equal to 0. This can be replaced with the letter a again, and you can use the same technique to find out what x is. And there you have it. 3 more examples on how to factor non-quadratic equations using what we know about quadratics.